Hey everyone! Well, today I went to the tide pools at Leo Carrillo, and I hope that you guys get to go too. If you don't, I am going to show you some things that I found, and I'm also going to read you a story about starfish. I hope you do get to go, but let me show you some things that I've found over the years, and then I'm going to actually show you some really cool things that I found today. And I'm going to give you a hint. One of them has 8 legs. Yes, I found one and saw it swimming today. So let's get started though with a couple things that I have here at home that I didn't find at the beach. One of them that I really looked for was the starfish. And I couldn't find them, and I hope you do when the tide is out further. Today it wasn't out, is out as far as it could be. And you want to look on the rocks, stuck on the rocks for starfish. The scientific name is sea star, and these are its arms. And underneath it has the suction cups. If you look really close, it has a mouth. One of starfish's favorite food is the mussel, and it actually takes the mussel off of the rock that it's on. And mussels usually have 2 sides, so they would be stuck together like this. And the starfish is so strong, his arms are so strong, he would take it off and he would wrap his arms around, kind of curl around. His are stiff because he's not alive. But if he was alive, he could curl and really use his arms to open up and eat the mussel, the animal that's inside the mussel. So that's 2 things, the starfish, and we're going to read more. You'll learn more in the book about starfish. You can see he's very rough and prickly like, and then his very many suction cups, and that's his mouth right there. All right, one of the other things you will see this, and that is many hermit crabs, and they live in shells like this and other rounder shells. But you'll see these moving, and you want to stay really still and just watch the waters, and you'll be able to see these moving around. And you'll see the hermit crabs that are inside. You'll also see another crab. I don't have one with me. You'll see a lot of seaweed, different kinds of seaweed. So you want to be on the lookout for different sea grasses and seaweeds. Okay? You'll see some clams if you're lucky. And the starfish love the clams as well. What you might not find, which I've been really lucky, sharks lay eggs, some of them lay eggs, and they lay them in this special sack. And sometimes you can find them on the beach. And they're clearish. If they're hanging up, if we went to the aquarium, we would have seen a couple of these hanging up like this. And or vice versa, maybe like this, okay? And they are hung like this, and inside are the baby sharks. And what happens is the mommy lets the egg sacs go, and these float and go to the bottom. And the baby sharks are alive in there for quite a while, and then they emerge. They break out of the sac. You can kind of see a slit in that one. And probably in this one somewhere as well, down on the bottom. And then the sharks emerge, and then they start swimming around and begin their life outside of the sack. Now you can find these, and they're kind of cute. What their other name for these are mermaids' purses. And they're a real fun find if you find one. So you want to be on the lookout for mermaids' purses, starfish, hermit crabs, the seaweed, the sea grasses, sea anemones. You should be able to see a sea anemone. You'll see that in my video. So I have a video coming up showing you all of the things that I saw. And my most exciting find was an octopus. So watch the video, and then afterward you'll hear me read a book called Starfish. It's another Smithsonian, a book produced by the Smithsonian Institute, and it's a really good book as well. All right, thanks, and have fun watching my little video clips.
There's different ones though, that's not one of... Big snails, bigger than your thumb. That's a big one. See the bubbles? Those are his lungs working. And the moisture. Oh, darn it.
I trained him to like climb on my dad's back.
Cool. You think he's a hermit crab?
Yeah. I named him Jim Carrey.
That's great. Oh, that real close one.
Oh. And I always see those hermit crabs at like Petco with all the little animals and the pretty shells. But I never... Nah, I don't think Jim Carrey needs it either. So,
Very cool.
that's why I have him in my net.
That's a good way to do it. I can see him. Oh, that.
Dad!
And applesauce.
All right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He's so
Are you gonna put it back?
Yeah, we're gonna let him go.
Look at see him breathe.
That's so cool. Wow. And you got some cool crabs. Whoa!
I think you gotta get him in more water, but
Wow!
Whoa!
Ooh, wow, he's strong.
I want to feel.
That's
He's squirting. Hey, yeah, he's squirting. Hey!
he's right there.
You might want to put him out in the water more.
He'll swim out more. Watch.
Wow. That's so cool.
There he goes.
Wow, that's cool. They are so cool. Yeah.
He's hiding at the rock.
Okay, I'm back. This is Starfish. Title of the book is Starfish by Edith Hurd. All the illustrations or the drawings are by Robin Brickman. Here we go. And the first page is beautiful. It has all these different kinds of starfish. Just so many different kinds. You think that starfish are like the one I showed you today earlier, but there's so many different kinds, and that's why I wanted to read this book to you. So starfish live in the sea. Starfish live deep down in the sea. Starfish live in the pools or the tide pools by the sea. Some starfish are purple. Some starfish are pink. Like that one. Look at this one. This is the sunflower starfish. It is the biggest of all. The biggest of all starfish. And starfish have many arms. Their arms are called rays, kind of like sun rays. Starfish have arms, but no legs. So these are all arms. You think that there's like 4 or 5. Some of them can have lots. Starfish have feet, but no toes. They glide and slide on tiny tubed feet. They move as slow as snails. So you can see a tubular snail. You're going to get to see one. I saw one in the tide pool, so you can see that in the video. Or you will have seen it, because there we go. So some snails and some different kinds of starfish. The basket star looks like a starfish, but it's a little different. It doesn't have tubed feet. It moves with its rays. It has rays that go up and rays that go down. So that's more kind of brittle looking, and that's the name of it. No, it's called the basket star. I think the next one is the brittle. Yes. Tiny brittle stars are like the basket stars. You can kind of see them right there. They're all around as the mussels. They hide under rocks in pools by the sea, tide pools. The mud star hides in the mud. It is a starfish. It has tiny tubed feet. This is another one. It's kind of moving its feet. A starfish has no eyes, no ears, no nose. It does have that tiny mouth that I showed you. It's on its underside. When a starfish is hungry, it slides and it glides on its tiny tubed feet. It hunts for mussels and oysters and clams. It feels for mussels. It feels for the oysters. It feels for the clams. It feels for something to eat. The starfish crawls over a clam. Its rays go over it. Its rays go under it. Its rays go all over the clam. And the starfish pulls and pulls. It pulls the shells open. It eats the clam that's inside. You can kind of see it there. It's pulling and pulling it open, and it eats the meat that's inside. It's very strong. Sometimes a starfish loses a ray, as you can see here. A crab may pull it off, a rock may fall on it, but that doesn't hurt the starfish. It does not bother the starfish. The starfish just grows another ray. In the spring, when the sun shines warm and the sea grows warm, starfish lay their eggs. They lay many, many, many tiny eggs. The eggs look like sand in the sea. The tiny eggs float in the water. They float up and down. They move with the waves and the tide. They go up and down. And if you look really close, maybe like right here, you could see the little starfish. The sea stars. I have to remember the scientific name is sea star. The tiny egg they change and they start growing. They float in the water, they move with the waves back and forth, and then they sink to the bottom and they grow into tiny starfish. The tiny starfish grow scratchy and hard, and they grow little rays, and they grow tiny tubed feet. They grow tiny tube feet to crawl on. So once they get their feet, they can start moving. You see that sea turtle up there. Baby starfish eat and eat and eat. First they eat tiny things that float in the sea. Then they eat mussels and oysters and clams. They eat and they grow and they grow and they grow. Just like us. There's one eating some oysters. There are many different starfish. Some are fat, some are thin, some are prickly, some are prickly and pink, some are prickly and gray, some are just a tangle, like that one. There's just all different kinds, just like people. Big, small, little, different colors, right? We're all different. Look at the rock. Look on the rocks by the sea. Look in the pools by the sea, the tide pools. Look for starfish, the stars of the sea. So I hope you get to find one. I couldn't find one. So if you're going out to the ocean today, look for some starfish by the sea. Again, here's that picture with so many different kinds. All right, have fun. Let me know what you find.